It's a brand new jeans set てかまさかの Me and my friends 今日何したい Put on the fiction wanna fantasize DM don't care なんて気にしない I'ma do what I wanna do 新世代雨にも負けてる暇がない Cause sky is so bright for the supersonic 間に合わんダッシュ敷くパターンてか今何時 Let's go 新時代答えは無限大そして夢みたい But I don't really care about what you decide これとリアルシンクロナイズ I want everything and anything I can be what I wanna be そして気づけば sky high Fantasy は止められない You is my nickname 最新形の未来よみんなで sing it yeah 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 Everybody sing it yeah yeah yeah
Hello everyone, welcome to the first Japan Youth Summit 2025 pre-orientation session with the team Funding the Dream from Inbox to Boarding Pass. My name is Hasbi and I will be your moderator for today's session. Before we begin the session, I'd love to hear from all of y'all, maybe a little warm up in the chat box. I'm really curious, what are your main motivation to join the Japan Youth Summit 2025? You can type it in the chat box. Maybe about personal growth, maybe about international exposure, building global networks, or something else that I didn't even think about. You can put it in the chat box. Go, guys. Because I want to personally grow. Okay. International collaboration. How to fund. Okay. International friends. Of course. Personal leadership and growth as an opportunity to for networking as a teen. Okay. Meet new friends. Of course. Leadership growth. Okay, I see so many inspiring goals here that hopefully we can achieve it together in Japan Youth Summit 2025. And speaking of stepping up, we all know that joining an international summit like this isn't just about passion or excitement. It also takes preparation, especially when it comes to finding the right sponsorship opportunities to support your journey. That's why today's session is here to equip you guys with helpful tips and strategies so you can fund your dreams and make sure nothing holds you back from representing your country in the global stage. To guide us through, we have someone who's been in your shoes and now leads program in the ETL Global Program Lead. Please welcome Ms. Swanee Nelson, Japan Youth Summit alumni and ETL Global Program Lead New Zealand. Hi, Ms. Swanee. How are you today?
Hi, kia ora everybody. Lovely to meet you all. And I'm good. It's actually really cold. I'm in New Zealand right now. And it's freezing.
Oh, so it's in Jakarta, Indonesia it's hot here. Maybe different weather, but the same spirit. We
That's right.
excited to have you here, and I'm also feeling fantastic to have you here to share with us how to get the sponsorship to fund our journey to Japan. Without further ado, Ms. Swanee, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, firstly, kia ora everybody. Really lovely to meet you all for those who don't know me. And I use the word kia ora because I'm actually Māori. I'm Indigenous Māori from New Zealand. If you see any patterns like this, these are Māori. They are the Indigenous people of New Zealand. So I'm Māori. I'm from New Zealand. If you don't know where New Zealand is, it's literally all the way on the other side of most of your guys' countries, on the other side of the earth, close to a place called Antarctica, which is very cold. So we're all the way down there. but we are near a place which we often get mixed up by a lot of countries. When people hear, oh, you're from New Zealand, they automatically think Australia. But no, New Zealand is near Australia, but it is not Australia. We are a different country, and they are kind of a few hours out from us. And so I am one of the program leads for a program called the ETL Global Program based in Auckland, New Zealand. And we do a lot of community and youth development work here, in particular working with aspiring and current young leaders who are wanting to be change makers in our community. And we became partners of YBB maybe about 2 years back when we first connected. And it's been awesome. Their summits have been amazing. And we've stayed connected. And I guess just before we set the scene, Auckland, New Zealand is quite a distance from many of the places where the YBB summits are held. I think the furthest place that we had to travel as a cohort was Istanbul, which was at the beginning of the year. So that was their first summit they had. It took us 44 hours to get to that summit from New Zealand. And it could have been a little bit more quicker, but these are the things we're going to talk about today. Because we wanted to keep costs down, because it was quite a distance, we had to literally travel all around the world to get to Istanbul to save on costs. But we'll get to kind of like those strategies and decisions that you might need to make if you're thinking about coming to these summits, but they're absolutely worth it. And I know many of you that have joined the live tonight are keen to attend the YBB summit. Some of you probably have seen promotional or been on the Instagram or the socials, and I've seen in previous lives, some people don't know if this is actually even legit. Like, is this real? And I've seen those questions before. And yeah, let me tell you, it is very, very much real. We've been to 3 summits today, and we will be in Japan soon. Hopefully, I'll be able to see some of you guys that are on this call in Japan in October as well. So it's very much real. The summits are amazing. And I know, like I said before, many of you may want to attend the YBB events that happen in a variety of countries. So Istanbul, Indonesia, Japan, I believe there's one in Singapore, and I believe one later on in the year in Saudi Arabia as well. But the one thing that holds most people back is money. Like, how am I going to fund this? So I've worked with our young leaders to basically get all the way from New Zealand to get to a variety of summits, but especially the YBB ones. And we do that without any big sponsorships. And today I'll be showing you guys how you can kind of do the same, no matter what country you live in. So I think a good place to start would be is like, what is YBB and why should you attend? And why did we even attend? If you're not familiar with YBB or Youth Break the Boundaries, they obviously host international summits that bring together young leaders from around 30 to 60 plus countries. And many of these events, these summits focus on leadership, culture, education, youth empowerment, and the SDG goals, which is one of the reasons why we actually connected into the YBB summits, because we had to focus ourselves here with our group on the SDG goals and wanting to do more of those things in our own country as well. So like I said, most of these events, these summits focus on those things. And past events that we've already been to ourselves, we were in the Japan Youth Summit last year. So that was the first time that they held that summit there. So this will be the second time this year. We were at the Istanbul Summit at the beginning of this year. And not only were we there, but we actually also took out top social project in the senior category as well. So I don't know if you can see that, there. So yeah, we took out that in the senior section, first place for best social project. And we actually came back to New Zealand and have had that funded and are currently working on getting that project off the ground. And we've just come back from the Korea Youth Summit, which was just literally last month. That was awesome. And we also took out top project, social innovation project there as well. And those were with 2 separate groups of leaders that we were working with to go to those summits. So those are some of the summits. So again, we're just not kind of like a fly-by-night crew. We've actually been to a few summits, and the reason why we kept coming back to them was the investment that we made as a group to attend these summits what we got back, the keynote speakers, the global friendships and networking opportunities, the learning that was had there, and just the opportunity, I guess, for our young leaders from New Zealand who quite often don't get to mix with a diverse range of cultures aside from maybe predominantly Māori and Pacifica, to have them have those cross-cultural experiences, it was absolutely worth it. None of our recipients that have been to the summits, if you would have seen, there's an opportunity with YBB where you can complete an essay and there's the potential for you to be fully funded. So none of our participants have actually been successful in getting one of those, which is absolutely fine. And it is a bit of a competitive process, but we've always come into every summit on the basis of not trying to get one of those, but actually investing ourselves into the process by us finding the funds ourselves so that we can get everyone there, regardless of whether we're successful in getting one of those fully funded spots or not. So I think that's one of the most important things to take note of, that you need to consider, like, you know, do you want to do this? And if you do, like, it's an investment into yourself, because I've seen in previous lives and presentations, again, like many have come in and they're only interested in attending if they can get a guarantee of getting that fully funded scholarship, which is cool. But I think a mindset needs to change, that if you see value in this and you want to grow as a person, if you want to build confidence, if you want to expand your global thinking, if you want to expand your global networks, then definitely really consider from the beginning about investing into this process yourself, and by putting a strategy in place so that you can fund yourself essentially to get to the summit. So it's not just a trip, it's definitely an investment for your future. So what's the greatest challenge? Obviously, the greatest challenge for all of us, no matter what country we come from, is money, okay? Money, and especially for us who live in New Zealand, which is on the other side of the world, it's actually a lot more expensive for us to get to a lot of your guys' countries from here, because we're so far. I've seen and met many of the delegates that have come to these summits, and a lot of them generally, like, it's just a lot easier for them to get flights over to these summits, whereas it's a lot more expensive. We've got to come further. So I understand firsthand the expenses required and the work that's required, and how important it is to have a really good strategy in place to get to not only a summit, but to get to something that you want to invest yourself in, especially if you live very far. So most people will never apply for these processes because they think, I'm too broke, or I don't have rich parents, or I live in a poor area. But here's the truth. You don't need to be rich to attend these summits. You just need a funding strategy and the courage to start. Literally, that's it. And all of our recipients, all of our delegates, our New Zealand delegates that we bring over, pretty much all of them do not come from rich families. They come families that, to be quite honest, live in areas that are low socio-economic areas in our communities. They come from families that do live below the poverty line. So if you see photos and Team New Zealand looks really well dressed up in those photos from previous summits, like, that's cool. They've made an effort and they've worked hard to get some money to get those outfits. But a lot of them are starting on the same platform as many others in other countries as well, and they don't come from rich families. So there's definitely no handouts here. Everybody just has to work really hard and commit to the strategy that we put in place, which I'm going to share with you guys today, and then have the courage to just go for it. So the funding strategy that we use, pretty much anyone in the world can use this. We have helped probably, so we've been to 3 summits. The first summit that we came to, we had about maybe 12, 13, 14 New Zealand delegates. The Istanbul summit that we were at the beginning of this year, we had 11 delegates. The Korea summit that we just came back from, we had nine delegates. And the Japan Youth Summit that we're coming to, which hopefully we'll see some of you guys, we've got 20 delegates coming. They are already registered, and ready to go. So that's a lot of delegates, which means I think this particular cohort that we're bringing to Japan, we've had to work a little bit more extra harder because there's a lot more people, which means there's a lot more expenses included. And so those are the things, those are the numbers that we've had to work with. So not just one, we've had to do the expense of plus 10, plus 9, plus 11, and now plus 20 people. So how do we break down those real costs? How do we get started, and how can you fund the dream for yourself if you're in the Zoom to get to one of these amazing YBB summits this year, in particular the Japan Youth Summit? The very thing that we usually start with here in New Zealand is we always break down the real costs. So it's really important to know what you need to fund from the registration. So not relying on getting a fully funded scholarship through YBB. This is based off the cost that you're going to be investing everything, paying for everything yourself. And I can see questions coming through in the chat. And I will open up an opportunity for Q&A at the end because some of those questions might be answered during this presentation. Cool. So I can see your questions coming through. I'll answer those in the end, and hopefully most of them will be answered during this chat. So when we're breaking down those costs, like we literally break down everything. What is the registration fee to attend YBB? What are going to be your flight costs and your visas? When we fly to these YBB summits, we not only go to the summits, but we also plan to do post tours. So we go there with the intention of staying either a week earlier or after, so that we can actually explore the rest of the country outside of the summit. So we always factor in those costs as well. Travel insurance always, and then obviously food and local transport outside of what's provided within your YBB fee. Now, as a person who's been to quite a few summits around the world, I've not only been to the Youth Break the Boundary ones, but I've been to quite a few different organization ones. One of the reasons why we kept coming back to the YBB summits was I couldn't believe what we received for the fee, the YBB fee that you pay to come, which covers your hotel, the summit fee, all your meals, and the tour excursion. If you understand what it takes to put a summit together event, those logistics, feeding people, the quality of the awards, the ceremonies, the tour excursions, then you can get a really good rough breakdown on whether you're getting a good deal or not. And this was probably the first time where we went to a summit where we couldn't believe what we got for what we paid for. What you pay to attend these summits and what you receive is actually pretty incredible. The quality of the hotel accommodation that's provided is way better than what I expected. The food that you receive over those days as well is not only of that culture, but it's filling, it's decent, the meals are all beautiful. The tour excursions got me. The tour excursions that you go on with YBB are absolutely amazing and quality. And they usually go over the whole day. So you're doing a variety of things, and you're usually on tour buses. And then also the actual final summit day itself and the quality of the awards that are given out to recipients. When you work out all of those costs, you're definitely getting way more than what you invest in going to that summit. That doesn't include the other things that you get the benefits of, like the global networking opportunities, the keynote speakers, and the friendships, the international friendships that you make as well. So that's what blew us away from New Zealand, and that is the reason why we continue to have no issues paying the YBB fees to come back, because what you get is way more than what you actually pay in terms of those fees. And so a good place to start, again, is break down those costs and be really realistic about what those costs will be for you to attend. Now, for us, one of the ways that we try and make things cheaper for us is we take longer trips around the world to get to our destination, and that just reduces, because your biggest costs are really going to be your airfares, the YBB fee, and probably for many of you guys, your visas. We're really lucky in New Zealand. Our New Zealand passports are like gold here. Most countries we are visa free, but I do acknowledge and know that for many other delegates around the world, another country, you guys have to pay, you know, significant visa fees. And so those will probably be your main costs. And where you can find opportunities to reduce those costs, where most of the time it is taking longer flights, connection flights to get there, then I would encourage you to, you know, to do that. If that is not your cup of tea, then obviously you're going to have to be willing to fork up the costs to pay your direct costs to those countries. But if you want to reduce those costs, definitely look at third-party websites where you can get cheaper airfares and look to travel around the world. Get transit flights to get to your destination and reduce those costs. The next thing that we do, and we're really strategic on this because, again, things are a lot more expensive coming from New Zealand, is we set a target and a timeline. So know when those deadline dates are. It's really helpful, and I think YBB have gotten better at this, at giving advance notice on when these summits are going to be, so that you've got at least 6 months to plan and save. And realistically, I think 6 months is probably the most decent amount of time that you would need to save up, find sponsorships, and to get yourself organized to attend those YBB summits. So we always make sure that we set those target deadlines, we know the timelines, and we work on that strategy all the time. So Japan, we started, I think we started about 5 months ago saving up for Japan and working on our strategy. And we're pretty much almost 3/4 of the way there. We'll get to what that strategy actually looks like, but we did start months prior. If you're trying to join the summit and you don't have that much funds, and like the summit is coming up to 2 months, it is like realistically it's going to be a lot more difficult depending on your financial situation. But the earlier you start the process, the better. So YBB, if you miss out on this opportunity this year, YBB has already set the dates. I think they've set some tentative dates for 2026. And if I was you, I would start the planning process now in terms of raising those funds to get there. Okay, so funding systems. I know we're all from different countries here in this room. And for myself, one of the things that I think would be generic across all countries is that depending on how your government system works, or if you have a local council, that's what we call them here in New Zealand, which is like your you've got central government and local, which are the ones you're more closely connected to. There are always opportunities there to tap into sponsorships or funding. Now, the cool thing about YBB is that once you register, they issue you with acceptance letters that you're able to utilize to take and leverage trying to get sponsorship from either government agencies or corporate organizations or religious institutes, depending on where you sit or what your community groups are, church groups, or even your family or immediate circles, just so they can see that this is legit. So everything that YBB provides, I encourage you to leverage that, leverage the letters, leverage as much as you can to support your funding applications to any of the corporates or funding bodies that you have access to in your areas, your scope of areas. It'll be hard for me to kind of like pin out because there's so many different countries here, but that's where you need to do self-directed research to find out where you can tap into some of that funding and that sponsorship. We're really lucky. Okay, we live in the age of digital technology. So for most parts, many of you guys should be able to utilize the internet to do some searching up and to find out who those local government agencies are, or educational institutes, or religious institutes, or church institutes, or community organizations that you might be able to engage and tap into. I encourage you, like we do here, to send out letters to anyone and everyone. Like the worst that can happen is a no, and that's fine, you know. Be willing and ready to, and be mentally able to get no's, because for every 10 no's that you get, you will get one yes from somebody. So be prepared, and that's why I said right at the beginning, like all it takes is for you to take the courage to step out. This process takes courage because you got to put yourself out there and be willing to get the no's or the yeses through that process. Some of the things that we do when we are launching our strategy to fund all of our delegates over, I don't know what platforms you have in your country, but fundraising platforms where you can kind of like say, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going, and if you believe in supporting this group, then please donate here through this platform. In New Zealand, it's called Give a Little. So whatever similar platforms you have in your countries, We always launch off with that for every single delegate. And to be quite honest, one of the things that I found that works easier is if you're coming in a group as opposed to traveling solo. Now, I know that probably may not be something that some of you guys want to hear, because I have seen that there are a lot that come solo on these trips. Not to say that it's hard, like, well, it is a little bit more harder to do when you're solo, because you have to kind of like really champion yourself. But when you're doing it as a group, if you have the ability to pull in some extra people within your own community that might want to come on these YBB summits with you, then it just kind of, it's a better leverage when you're going to get sponsorship with groups, when they see a group going. It's a lot easier to get the support behind you when you're going as a group as opposed to traveling as a solo, unless you've got a really good background portfolio. If you don't, then that might be something you might want to consider, is seeing if there's some other people that might want to do the YBB summits with you. Rally up a group and do it together, because it's just going to make it easier for you to rally in the support that you need to get that money to get over here. So yeah, we use online crowding platforms, and when we launch those crowdsourcing platforms out, we launch hard, because we know psychologically that it's usually within the first 2 weeks that you're able to capture people and get the most money out of people when you launch those things. So if you are thinking of launching out a crowdsourcing platform or utilizing a crowdsourcing platform to get support for yourself to come here, then whatever you do within the first 2 weeks of launching that, launch it hard and be consistent, because after that 2 week period, it just starts to drop off, and it's a little bit harder to solicit the support to those platforms, no matter what country you're in, unless you've got really, really, really good community support. Psychologically, just in the community, it just tends to drop after a 2 week period. So if you do that, make sure you hit it hard on the first 2 weeks and be consistent about it. Aside from that, we do a lot of sponsorship letters, like I said. So we get those out and we send it to anyone and everyone. And again, be willing to get the no's, because for every 10 no's you will get a 1 yes. And those 1 yeses could be the 1 yes that pays for your airfare. The next one could be the one that pays for your summit fee. Once you cover those main expenses, the rest of it really is a lot easier. It's just really trying to cover the main expenses of your trip: airfares, visas, and your YBB summit fee. If you can get those main three things out of the way, the rest honestly is a lot easier, especially if you've given yourself a lot of time, lead up time to get yourself prepared for that. So in terms of what to include in letters and emails, because every country is different, I didn't really want to check out like some presentations and slides on here. So what I thought is maybe even post this talk, if you felt like, hey, I really don't know how to kind of put a sponsorship letter together, or like how to put ones together for different types of corporates, whether it be government or a council or a religious institute, and then post this, you can definitely send some info or send a message through to YBB, and I'm happy to kind of send through some templates of what we use here. But to be quite honest, again, AI, what we have available through ChatGPT, and all of those kind of resources that you've got online, a lot of those things you can just kind of get whipped up within, under a minute if you use the right prompts. So make sure you're utilizing AI as well for those things. It'll definitely make the process easier. And again, just send them out and just keep sending those things out. How ETL Global, how we made this work. So again, we're constantly having to find money all the time for at least 10 plus delegates. And we have to teach them all the time how to self-fund themselves, because they do not come from rich families. So every single YBB summit that we come to, we really have to work hard, use the strategy that I've given you, and be consistent about it, and just work hard with it, with a really good lead up time. In between doing all of those sponsorship letters and using a crowdsourcing platform, we are really proactive in doing fundraisers all the time. So anything from cooking to bake-offs, whatever it is, we do it. As an example, in the past 2 months, our delegates have done fitness classes. They've gone to, I don't know if you know, like sports games that we have here in New Zealand. Sport is really big. So on Saturdays, they will go to the sports games and do sausage sizzles and those kinds of things. So those are kind of the in between, by the way, things that we do on top of the main things, which is the crowdsourcing, the sponsorship letters. And then also we say if you've got money, any money, like make some sacrifices. So instead of like buying that burger that week, how about you put that into your crowdsourcing platform and put money back into you too as well. And I think that's got to be the buy off, is like not only asking for those handouts and finding the sponsorship, but you yourself making the investment as well. Where and when you can, in our currency, say like $1, you can work whatever that out is in your currency. It may seem small, but that put aside consistently over time can make a big difference, especially if you're preparing yourself 6 months prior. So some bonus tips, kind of to give you some bonus tips before we look into some of these questions, and that may be a little bit more personalized to your countries, because like I said, every country is different. What are some tips that you can make it work quicker, faster, and across the board? So one, make sure you start early, at least 3 to 6 months prior. Okay. Practice your pitch. So know why you want to go to these summits, and make sure you formulate that in the way that you do your letters, and the way that you do your crowdsourcing platforms when you're doing your statements, and verbally when you're approaching those people that you want to talk to. Make sure you know that inside out, and document your journey as well. So every summit that we've been to, we always actively document everything. So so like the Japan summit that we're going to, for example, when we go back out for sponsorships again, to try and get support for our delegates, we utilize some of the photos and video footage that we capture from previous summits. And YBB, they are really good at doing this. They have a full-on media team that capture everything, every summit, photos and videos, and they do amazing wrap-up reels. So we actually utilize all of those reels that YBB do and their photo footage, and we use those as part of our letters and our sponsorship requests as well. And their video footage, their wrap-up reels, and their photos are real high quality, and you get those for free. So that's one of the things that you can capitalize and leverage off from YBB as well, not only for these ones, but future summits that you think that you might want to be part of. You can leverage those things to support your paperwork and your sponsorship requests as well. The other thing is work in a team if you can. So again, doing it solo is a little bit harder. But it's not impossible, but it is harder. But if you can get a team together, it just makes everything so much more easier. And the other thing is like give value back. So like if people are choosing to support you on your journey, whether it be financially or covering your airfares or whatever, make sure that you can reciprocate that back to them. So for us, like we're really proactive in always acknowledging those that support us in any little way, to get into these summits, especially through social media. But whenever they need us to, when we're back, like we always offer to speak at their any things that they need us to speak at, whether it be talking about like our experiences at the summits, or talking on leadership, or just sending a report through with all those photos and thanking them. We always make sure that we reciprocate that back for their support too. So you're not just asking for money, you're inviting people to invest in your futures. And that's what it's really about, because these summits, you get the cross-cultural exchange, but there's a real focus on leadership development, global networking, and those SDG goals, which are really global goals that really aim to see us improve things, right? Not only for our communities, but globally as well. And I think when you're coming to a summit like that, there are many people that want to support growing more leaders. And that's the angle that we always take when we're traveling and trying to get support, is that this is about us as New Zealanders trying to grow more global leaders within our own communities, especially young leaders, because many of our current leaders that sit in the decision-making spaces in our country are like 50 years plus, right? And in order for us to get more innovative ideas and solutions into those places, we need younger leaders moving into those spaces. And the only way we can do that is by us investing in them to grow and learn more. And being able to attend these summits enables you to, it's part and parcel, it's one of the puzzles of growing young leaders that assist them to do that. So final words, I guess, in a wrap up and kind of next steps before we look at the Q&A. Don't let money stop you from living out your dreams or being part of this opportunity to come to YBB or any opportunity for that matter. We've proven, like from here, being all the way from New Zealand, near Antarctica on the other side of the world, through ETL, our ETL Global program, that youth, even from the most under-resourced areas, can travel the world. And the key really is just to start with what you have and believe that you're worth backing. Believe in yourself and execute on that. So your next steps moving forward from here is make sure you apply for the YBB Summit, and hopefully I'll be able to see some of you guys at the Japan Youth Summit, and you guys will be able to meet the 20 New Zealand delegates that are going to be coming over. Start planning your budget if you haven't already started doing that. And feel free to DM me. Again, there's some amazing resources online, AI, ChatGPT, all of those places that you can go to. But if you want further support, you can DM me through YBB for some free funding letter templates. Or you can follow us as well on on Instagram, ETL Global NZ is where you can find us. So you can get a bit of an idea on how we roll and what we do. So yeah, your call to action, go tag someone who wants to come to the YBB Summit with you so you can grow your group if you can. And get onto that planning, start now if you haven't already, and start your fundraising ASAP. Be ready to send out those letters and be mentally ready to get the no's, and don't let it bug you, just keep going. And hopefully we'll see you guys at the next Youth Summit in Japan in October. Cool.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Swanee, for sharing your insight. And that was super insightful. Thank you for sharing everything about the sponsorship and all of the tips. Maybe I want to recap, a quick recap, some points that you've mentioned, just to make sure that we all caught them. So first of all, you need to know your real cost, like flight, visa, etc., and know that YBB already covers a lot, from the hotel, award, and the amazing ceremony, and then use your acceptance letter that we provide to as a funding proposal to an organization, maybe like government or religious organization, or even communities and CSR companies. And the worst thing that can say is no. And my favorite is bring friends and use AI technologies, because in this digital era, you can reach so much information with technologies and AI. And thank you so much. Again, such a clear, doable steps for us. And after this, we're going to moving on to the Q&A session. But before that, I would like to kindly ask everyone to turn on your camera for a quick documentation session. Okay, everyone, can you please turn on your camera? Okay, great. Now, my team, if you can take the screenshot.
All right, thank you,
So
Hasbi.
beautiful spaces.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
There is 2 slides, so there is gonna be a 4 times documentation. So everybody look at the camera. I will count down from 3. Look at the camera, smile, 3, 2, and 1. All right, perfect. And another one for the slide 2, 3, 2, and 1, smile. All right, thank you very much. Give it back to Mr. Habib.
I hope I'm going to meet some of you guys. I wish we should get the cameras on. It's awesome to see all you guys' faces.
Yeah. You can keep the camera on while asking the question, okay?
Yeah. Oh, I really hope I'm going to meet some of you guys in Japan. I hope so.
You
Yeah,
know, this will be shared to YouTube, and our social media team will also share it on stories. So open your camera, guys.
yes. If you guys want to, your face want to pop up in the YouTube and our social media, you guys can open your camera, okay? Okay, we're moving on to the Q&A session. If anybody want to ask some question to Miss Wani, you can raise your hand or type it in the chat box.
It can be anything too, not just the funding, anything about the YBB stuff as well.
Yeah, of course.
I'll give
Maybe
you a
about,
non-biased one. Yeah.
maybe about your experience on Japan Youth Summit. Can you tell us more about like so Japan Youth Summit is your first experience on YBB program, right?
Yeah. It was awesome. Um, we got to the airport and the logistics are really, really good. So they worked really well in terms of the timing. They picked us up from the airport on a massive ass bus, like massive ass flash bus. And then we got literally, I say, all the delegates that turn up that day from different countries. So you got to make sure you arrive at it within a particular time frame when the bus arrives. But the committee are there waiting for you at the airport. You get loaded onto the bus. You get taken to the hotel. The hotel that we stayed at was really lovely. It was within walking distance to a lot of and I don't know if it'll be the same venue, possibly could be, within walking distance to a lot of attractions, which was really good. And they're just there the whole time, like keeping you up to date on where you need to be, what's happening. The summit itself was awesome, like really good keynote speakers. I'm quite critical too, about like keynote speakers kind of spit and chew. But so far today, every keynote speaker has been really good. And the social project presentations have been actually really amazing as well. Really like just being able to sit there and hear the different like kind of different challenges that people have seen happen around the world and solutions that they've kind of come up with, and be kind of like blown away, like, oh my gosh, these guys are so onto it. I remember one of the presentations in Japan. It was a group, and again, these guys were just all put together from different countries, but they had created artificial intelligent technology for rural farmers in third world countries to support them to improve the way that they were farming. And just the way that they did it and the thought process behind it was just like, holy heck, like, the cool thing is like you have all these projects that are done and amazing solutions that are being developed, through different mindsets all over the place. But then the gem to it is like how to get them funded afterwards and get them executed, and so forth. But you get to see like, yeah, you get to be inspired big time by just the different thinkers and mindsets from around the world, and also like just the cross-cultural connections. I mean, look at this room, look at the diversity of the cultures that we've got in the Zoom tonight. Like, I absolutely love that. And there's a lot to be learned through connecting with other cultures, especially when you don't realize you hold like certain biases and stuff. And the tour excursion, guys, oh my goodness, that's one of the things that blew me away too. Like the Japan tours that they had planned for us had all of these buses ready to pick us up with, our tour guides. And we got taken to some amazing sites across the whole day throughout Kyoto, Arashima, Bamboo Forest, quite a few places, Shinsekai, and then taken to this amazing, amazing Japanese restaurant. So we pretty much filled up the whole restaurant, where there was also outfits you could dress up in while we were there. So many of us put on I don't know what you call them. Sorry, I forgot the name, but the Japanese dresses and the outfits while we were eating our dinners, our lunches, sorry.
Kimono.
Yeah, kimonos. And ended it off at Shinsekai by the end, like full on day tour. And honestly, like so like one of the hats that I have is like I'm a tour guide myself. So I tour young leaders all over the world, not just the YBB. So I know the cost to doing tour excursions in different places and the logistics and hiring buses and that. And that's why I was like blown away. Like, how did you guys afford to do this? And I know that YBB is able to subsidize a lot of the costs to these conferences, and just what you get is pretty incredible for what you pay in, yeah, which is why we've kept coming. Yeah, and so everything, and then it just blew me away again. The final presentation day, where obviously like people get acknowledged for their innovation projects, social projects, and best groups and best presenters and all of those kinds of things. The quality of the awards that they give and how they do that is awesome. Like it feels like a real like top of the line legit awards ceremony. And the quality, honestly, the quality of these awards, like these are on display here in my office, but I love showing these to people, and people are kind of blown. Oh, I don't know if you can kind of see that, but these and the medals that you get, people are always like, are those the awards that you guys get? You know, and it's like, yeah. But we were able to bring back these awards and utilize winning some of the main things over there at YBB. Like I said, we were really successful to come back and get one of our projects funded. So that's that's in process at the moment. And that would not have been able to happen if we didn't go to the YBB Summit, if we didn't, this whole awards ceremony, the medals that we came back with, and also the articles that they do post the summit. So YBB do a lot of articles, media articles after the summit. So we really leverage those as well to kind of back like, look, this is what we've been able to do, and to show the importance of it and how high valued it is. And then boom, yeah, we basically got our whole project fully funded by a big organization here in New Zealand, and we're hoping to get that launched off before the end of this year. The aim is that we come back to Istanbul next year. That's what we really want to do, because I don't believe to date yet, correct me if I'm wrong, if there's been a social project that's been able to get fully funded and executed yet. And I think it's really important to showcase, like, look, you can actually go there and not just have these amazing ideas, but actually get them funded and executed so that they actually, you know, coming out from ideas to things that can actually help your community. Yeah. Sorry for talking too long. Please ask some questions.
It's always fascinating for me as well to attend this youth summit, to meet different people from different background. And yeah, and YBB, we always prioritize hospitality and the delegates experience. And so yeah, glad to have this partnership with ETL program. Okay.
Questions? I mean, if you're not comfortable to ask it, you can drop it into the chat box.
There's question. Maxwell, raise it. You may ask your question.
Okay, my name is Maxwell from Nigeria. Actually, we are two because we recently incorporated our non-governmental organization known as the Initiative of Professionals in Renewable Energy Development. I've been into the tech for quite some time now, you know, but it's a young organization. We're not able to fund the program to Japan at this time, but I am willing to offer my tech skills, you know, to companies over there that are in need of, you know, the skills in exchange for sponsorship, so that I and my partner can, you know, make it, you know, for the conference. So I'm actually asking how, you know, to go about that. I am a trained data analyst and a Java and Python developer also. So if I can find companies over there that need my skills, you know, I wouldn't mind maybe before the commencement of the conference to do some work in exchange for, you know, sponsorship to make it for the, you know, conference in Japan.
Cool. Hey Maxwell, nice to meet you. I mean, I hope to go to Nigeria one day too. You said that you recently incorporated your organization, right? As a business?
Sure, yes.
As a not-for-profit or as a business?
As a non-for-profit organization.
Yeah. So as a not-for-profit organization, you've already got like a key step ahead there to be able to apply for certain funds. Have you thought about looking at utilizing your newly registered organization to apply for any government funding over there in Nigeria?
We've thought about that, but we've not actually made any application, but it's part of what we are considering.
I would say,
we just got
carry on, sorry.
We just got registered on the 2nd of March this year. we're kind of, putting things together.
Yes. So yeah, I get you. So it's about building your profile now, eh? So like just especially because you're just newly registered. I would
Yeah.
say because you're registered, that I would give it if I was in your shoes. So I'm also the founder of a not-for-profit charitable trust here in New Zealand, so I'm very familiar with the sector, and I also own businesses as well. As a person who had newly started mine, when you don't have a profile behind you, one of the best ways is you literally just need to start applying to funds and putting whatever you can together with whatever bio you can, and try and take up some things, even if it's free, voluntary, to kind of build a profile behind you. It's probably a bit harder because you've only got about 2 months left. But I would say if I was you, I would do a search to see what organizations would, or what government funding or local government funding would be available for any not-for-profit group to register or to apply to, and just give it a shot and give it a go for now. And I think post knowing that you're looking for opportunities to kind of like trade off your skills and trade off for the opportunity to get maybe your flights or also for sponsored, I reckon we'll park that as a note on the side to see what opportunities there might be outside of this, and then post the Zoom, we'll try and send some links through to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would say, Maxwell, honestly, go have a look and see what's available. You're a registered not-for-profit charitable organisation now, so you've got the opportunity to leverage what probably some of these guys in here won't be able to do. And so you won't know until you actually do it. So I would say get as many funding applications out as possible while you can. And then, yeah,
Okay. Okay, we'll commence that as soon as this webinar is over.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, thank you so much, Maxwell, for your question. Next up, Fritz Carpio, you can ask your question.
So I've got questions about the funding.
Okay.
So I already know a lot of things on how to get funds, like crowdfunding, GoFundMe, and Facebook fundraising. But in our country, these types of things aren't really supported,
Yeah.
because no one would give money to teens just to go abroad and talk about stuff. But I see this opportunity as you know, sharpening my skills and meet new people, an opportunity to network with other people. So is it possible that I could apply for a fully funded program without paying the program fees first?
Okay, to answer that question, maybe someone from YBB team can answer this question.
And Fritz, what country are you from?
I'm from Philippines, by the way.
Ah, yeah. Are you attending a uni?
Okay. Hi, Swani. How are you?
Hi. I'll ask a question after you answer that.
Okay. Hi, Swani. I'm sorry. I think I need to answer the question for this one. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I will answer. Fritz, I think you need to watch the previous pre-orientation, the previous onboarding, because I told there, if you want to, if you accepted is fully funded, so you will, you can also go to the interview stage without pay anything. So you can watch for the complete statement in the previous video. I will share to you the link. So yeah. Because we're gonna talk about sponsorship today. So, but my answer is yes. You can go to the interview.
I think
I'm
probably,
sorry.
correct me if I'm wrong, that you still would need to pay the fee, but you get it reimbursed at the end. So there's still an element that you would need funds. But Fritz, are you in high school or university or?
I'm graduating high school.
Yep. So I work so a lot. I'm taking out of the 20 delegates that are coming to Japan, 14 of them are high school students in their last year, graduating just like you as well. And a lot of them are in the same situation, which is why we purposely like group them together because it's just a little bit easier to do it as a group. But one of the things that I've had them do is basically when they created their crowdsourcing online platforms was get those QR codes and go straight to your teachers, email all your teachers, take it to school and solicit sponsorship and support from all your teachers in the school. And they've all done that and literally like take up any opportunities that you can. I don't know what the politics are like within schools in the Philippines, but here in New Zealand, they're pretty flexible. Like if you said, hey, I want to do some fundraisers at lunchtime during the school, and if it's for the purpose of like this summit, which is generally supported by our schools, then they've allowed them. So these guys have been doing like nacho and mince fundraisers during lunchtime, and I've been quite shocked actually at the amount of money that they've been pulling in from other students during lunchtimes. But those are some of the other side things that they've been doing, aside from some of those things that you've been mentioning as well. Because yeah, again, same situation here in New Zealand. It's not as easy to get somebody to back a young person who wants to go to do these things. But if you do some of those other strategies around the outside, especially capitalizing on like getting the most out of your teachers and stuff at the school, especially if they're the only one going, then there could be a really good chance that you might just land somebody that's like, oh, Fritz, bro, I believe in you. I'm going to back this, or a couple of teachers. If you can pitch yourself the right way, that's why knowing your why, knowing how to pitch yourself is really important, even to your teachers and stuff at school. So I hope, have you thought about doing that? Had you considered doing that?
I've already done it. I've asked around the campus and you know, it's that just the norms of our country,
Yeah.
it'll just look like I'm a beggar,
Okay, yeah,
and it's
yeah,
really hard to grab money because our country is a third world country and there's a lot of um poor people like us.
yeah.
So we really can't get funding. And I've also attended multiple summits locally here in our country. And I just wanted to venture out and try summits internationally. But yeah, I thought that this was free.
Yeah. Let me have some thoughts about that. I have a lot of Filipino friends that have moved from Manila here to New Zealand. So I let me park that. I'd love to see you in Japan. And again, post this conversation, I'm going to have a chat with some of my Filipino contacts here to see how you could kind of get around some of those cultural ways, obviously, that you have in the Philippines. That's kind of a challenge to getting some of those funds and some other recommendations. And we'll see if post this we can get in contact. So if you can drop your email or something post this Zoom through to the YBB team so we can stay in contact, that'll be really awesome. Cool. Or even an IG contact if you're open to that.
Okay, I'll type in my email on the chat. Okay, thank you.
Cool.
Okay,
Okay, maybe also this is additional information. I'm sorry. I think my mic was delayed before. So maybe I just want to like confirm. Actually, our program is like reimbursement, like Swani also said, but you can also have some change to go to the fully funded things without pay anything. And then this is the video that I told to you before. So you can watch, you didn't need to pay anything. If you want to go to fully funded for get scholarship from us, for get funding from us without pay the program fee. But you need also like prepare for the flight ticket because our fully funded type is not giving you like the flight ticket. So you also need to make some effort for that things like Swani told you before. I think that's all. You can also watch my previous pre-orientation and onboarding in the YouTube channel. I think that's all for make it more clear. So actually, if you saw in the our guideline, our funding is like reimbursement. So you need to pay basically, but we also open for participants that cannot afford for the installment for batch one and batch two. We still open for the people with that. No worries. But you need to follow the instruction in my previous video. Okay, that's all. So I will give it back to Hasbi again.
Okay, thank you, Miss Cory, for the additional information. Maybe moving on to the next question, Bernard Benya.
Okay, so I'm Bernard Benya from Keep It Real Care Foundation, shortened from KEC Foundation. So I have been leveraging around some agencies and then non-profit organizations in Ghana and then some other countries, the world at large. I've sent a letter of collaboration to German Development Network, German Development Corporation in Ghana, UN Volunteer Program in Bonn, Japan Foundation in Japan, Korea International Agency, Korea International Cooperation Agency in Ghana, Crossroads to Africa, which is also in US, UNICEF, which I've also collaborated with when I was in AOB, a school of the Bin Brakwa. I've also sent a letter of collaboration to them. I've sent a letter of collaboration to UNDP, United Nations Office here in Ghana. I've sent a letter of collaboration to World Food Program. I've sent a letter of collaboration to UNFPA, and then a letter of collaboration to Peace Corps. I've also sent a letter of collaboration to French Development Agency, all seeking collaboration for my non-profit organization. However, I'm thinking of leveraging around this opportunity to sort for assistance from them as well. So maybe they can fund my travel cost if it becomes necessary. Maybe it could be in the form of they taking up the flight ticket and other costs that might come to play in my travel to the conference. I also want to sort for the Japan Youth Summit, your assistance for the 2 batch payments. If you could also support me with the payment of the 2 batch payments for now, so that I work hard to seek funding from elsewhere as well to support. Should it be possible for you to support me? I'm just asking if it would be possible for you to support with the payment of the 2 batch amounts. I'm done.
Okay. So what is the question? Sorry.
I actually want to say that I've made an effort seeking collaboration for the NGO myself, and then I hope to leverage around the collaboration letters I've sent to sort for assistance for my travel to this conference.
Oh yeah.
However, I also want to sort. However, I also want to sort for your assistance in the payment of the 2 batch amounts. The first one, which is $300, and then the second one, which is also $300. If you could also take it up for me, the cost for me.
Cool. So I think there's 2 separate things there. I think it's great. I mean, that's exactly what people need to be doing, is you just need to get letters out and keep getting them out. But also remember to consider an investment yourself into yourself, so that not everything's just sponsorship or collaborations. Like, if this is something you really want to, then what are you willing to do yourself? Are you actually willing to put a bit of your own money into this as well, so that it's kind of like shared partnerships? Have you heard back from any of those letters that you've sent out to all of those and like those are real prominent organizations that you've mentioned as well? Have you heard back from any of those ones to date?
With UNICEF Ghana, I actually worked with them when I was a district accountant at Iskumo Odobin Brakwa. So I happen to know one of the boss over there.
Oh, good.
who is a chef. Yeah, so I have spoken with him, and then they have assured me that for my organization, they are going to work hard to get me funding for some of the projects I want to do here in Ghana. But I've not sought for assistance for the conference anyway. So maybe I will try and see if I could leverage around this opportunity to see if I can get funding to travel there. Yeah, to travel to the
That's
conference.
that's such
And
a good
then
example.
friend development agency too in Ghana have also assured me that they are looking forward to collaborating with me. So all I'm looking for is just that I could get some proof of my attendance that you have accepted me. You want me to come, so that maybe with that document and everything, I can use it to seek for funding. Yeah.
Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah. So if you register, if you've
And
already registered, you'll definitely get a letter of acceptance which you can leverage straight off the bat. But if you haven't received that, I would say post this call, send an email to the Japan Youth Summit and if to the team here. And if that's what it takes to help you leverage those contacts to get that sponsorship, then I'm certain YBB will be able to arrange that for you. So post this, make sure you email them and say if you can get that document earlier rather than later with that exact wording on it. And then hopefully that'll help you get that over the line. Cool.
okay.
Awesome.
And also maybe additional information,
And
Bernard,
then
you can check your website because the letter of acceptance is distributed by the by the account in your summit. You know, you go to the
okay.
japanyoursummit.com and then enter with your account, and then our LOI distributed from there. You can go to the document tab and then check it if you already like do the registration. So yeah, maybe it's just like take like 1 till 3 days for getting the LOA, basically. So you have like evidence that you are part of our participants.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. I can't actually wait to be part of this conference. I'm looking forward to be part of this conference, and then I hope I am so glad. I can't wait to be part of this conference. I'm looking forward to be part of such young leaders who are making an impact in this world as well. And I hope my attendance also create other opportunities for young leaders as well, other young leaders as well to make an impact and then change their communities or where they're coming from. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm looking forward to attend. I can't wait. I'm so glad.
You've just raised a really good point too.
Thank you.
Bernard's just actually raised a good point. That's kind of like if you haven't already registered, but you're trying to solicit support from people to be able to come, you're going to need those letters to leverage. And the only way you can do that is you've actually got to register first. So make sure you register and very transparent. You know, for us to register, you do have to pay a very small fee to register. But for me, I say to people, man, if you're serious about wanting to go, then invest in yourself and pay the registration fee, which is like it's not a huge massive fee, but I guess it'll kind of show your commitment whether you're really like, do you really want to go? Then do that part yourself as well. And so you've got to do that in order to get those letters. So if you're sitting on the fence and you're trying to do things backwards, you're trying to get support from people to get to the summit, but you haven't even done the registration form yet, I would say go back and really think about, do you really want to come? If so, do the registration form. Then you'll get access to all of those letters that you can leverage. Then you can go out and start trying to rally the support and the collaborations that you need to get the rest of your trip paid. Cool. Any other questions?
Sure. Please, Swani, I think I can really leverage from your experience since you've been into the nonprofit organization for quite some time. You know, it's going to be a very big opportunity for me to leverage from your own personal experience. I worked for UNICEF for over 7 years as a resource person, not as a staff, but as a resource person. You know, so I also had some experiences within the non-governmental organization sector, but a kind of a one-to-one mentorship is what I think will really make a difference for me and for the organization. I've been looking at the chats here to see if I can DM you directly, but I can't even see your name here. So if there's any way I can connect with you, I really need to leverage from your experience. This is what we are actually trusting God for.
Yeah. I will send my contacts through YBB. If you'd like to get in touch with me, and that'll be fine. Whereabouts are you from, Maxwell?
Sure.
Which country?
Nigeria.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, post
I am
this
here.
up. I will get a contact through to you so you can get in touch with me.
Sure. Okay. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you, Maxwell. Does anyone have any other question that you guys want to ask? Okay. If not, that brings us to the end of our pre-orientation session, because of the time limit is also we exceeded our time limit. And thank you very much, all of you guys that have attended this pre-orientation session. And on behalf of the entire Japan Youth Summit team, thank you so much for being here. And a special thanks again to Miss Wani for sharing an amazing presentation and amazing experience and lastly, to all delegates, may your journey ahead be as exciting as it is meaningful. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Japan Youth Summit Official. And if you have any further question, please don't be shy to contact us through our socials, Instagram, WhatsApp, and see you at the next session. And stay inspired and keep innovating for tomorrow. Goodbye.
Okay, guys,
Hope to
thank
see
you for the
guys in
call. Bye.
Japan.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Say hi to me if
Thank
you
you,
see me
guys.
at the airport.
Yeah, see you, Sonny. Bye.
See you soon.
Thank you. Thank you all.